Hey guys, how's it going? Miller here. A couple of people have asked me in the past and recently whether or not I could do a proper showcase of my English Civil War army. I did one when I first started the channel and it was a bit rubbish because it was literally just panning over the army that I'd had at the time, and since then I've had a few more things added to it. So at the moment I'm just going to show you the infantry and artillery, and then a little bit later on in the video I'll move on to what cavalry I've got and where I'm at with them. So I'll literally just pan over from the back. So the army that I've built is based on the Eastern Association, which was based around Essex sort of area, or they mostly drawn from Essex sort of area, and it was commanded by the Earl of Manchester up until the reform, where they created the new model army, in which case when they created the new model army, no one or no member of parliament could lead an army, and it had to be led by individual officers that had been selected. So obviously, as I was saying, I'll start from the left. So from the left here in the blue coats, we've got a Regiment of Crawfords. Originally when I first started doing them, I planned to make them Fairfax before the new model army, but I found out that obviously when I wanted to do the Eastern Association, I thought that Crawfords were the only ones that I could find that were in blue coats. As for colours, with a lot of these armies, it's all debatable as to what the colours are, because a lot of people don't know. You can only find so much information on it. It's a lot less recorded than things like Napoleonic Wars, and you can only go by what evidence you've got. Especially with some colours, you find different companies say that different regiments had different flag designs. So like I said, these are Crawfords, which were led by Major General Crawford, who was second in command of Eastern Association, and excuse me, I think I snuck in there. And then just next to it here is Major General Crawford's command stand, and then moving just slowly on. These are Fairfaxes, first regiment that I've done. You see they've got the red with the blue sleeves, or blue. So these are more new model army, and then there's another one just to the right, which I've also done, which are the new model army box set from Warlords. As for the figures in some of these, I've got different companies mixed in. So obviously in the blue section, Crawford's regiment, and this regiment at the back and the far right, they're mostly Warlords. However, as I said in a previous video on these, some of the slanted pikes are bicorn. This command stand here is Earl of Manchester's foot command that I've done, and then the one just to the right on this itself is Philip Skipton's command for one of the regiments, and then also this one here is Ralph Weldon's, or Colonel Ralph Weldon's Regiment of Foot, which is the regiment of foot I used to fight in when I used to do English Civil War reenactments. Come back down here. This is Montagues, which was the brother of the Earl of Manchester. So this was his regiment. Again, same, but with the red with the white sleeves. They are. This is Pickering's Regiment of Foot, again with the blue, again with mostly Warlord in these. Sorry, shaky cam. This is Samuel Jones' Regiment of Foot. Samuel Joseph's Regiment of Foot, which didn't fight in the Eastern Association, but I fancy doing something a bit different than red coats, which is why I did the Crawfords as well, because they were blue coats. The musketeers on this and the back row are all bicorn, and then the front two charging their pikes, and the front ones receiving cavalry are both warlords. And then this regiment here is Rainsborough's, and then this large one, which is my main unit, is Earl of Manchester's. So as I said before, I've mainly based it on Eastern Association. However, I've made it so that if ever I wanted to change over to New Model Army, there's certain things I can do. So obviously right here is my commander for Earl of Manchester, which is from Bycorn. So he would be the general, or my commander-in-chief, when playing Eastern Association. And then just to the right is Thomas Fairfax, which is the Warlord's figure, Warlord Games figure, and he would be in command if I was doing New Model Army. As you can also see, I've got I think it's a demi-saker, which is like a heavy cannon, a mortar. They're both from Warlord Games, and then a big cannon from Bycorn. I think it was just the big gun. I can't remember what it was called. They didn't have a proper name, I don't think, but it was the biggest one they did. And these are from Bycorn. And then I've got a couple of groups of firelock support, or firelock muskets, so they're like your skirmishers. But then I've also got a command for them, so I could just use them as commanded muskets, which I think get bonuses, and they're able to move around the board a lot easier. But yeah, so obviously if I was to change regiments, and I didn't want to do it so that I was doing Eastern Association, I've made it so all the flags are removable. So now obviously he's no longer Earl of Manchester's. If I take Fairfax out, they're now Fairfax's, and then I would take Skipton's, and now they're Skipton's. And then obviously I think the same would end up happening with the Weldons. I would swap him with someone else. Obviously this unit here and this unit here, I haven't got musket support, but I have had a package come lately, so I'll do a video on that shortly, showing off 2 new wings, or 4 new wings of muskets, and they are both from First Corps and from Perry's. So I'm going to try and do a little video to show the size comparisons between them, because many people will ask, oh, what sort of scale and what sort of sizes do they all come up against each other? And I've asked the same question, so I thought, well, I'll bite the bullet and order one from nearly all of them, except for companies like Empress and Foundry, and see what the sizes are like. So I'm just going to finish up this segment, and I'm going to change this lot over to the cavalry now, and then we can see where I'm at with the cavalry as well. Okay, so bear with me. Okay, so these are my cavalry units. Obviously I haven't got very many of them, and the only ones that I do have are from Warlord. But literally I've just got 3 sets of Ironsides, or parliamentarian cavalry, and 1 unit of dragoons, Carloki's dragoons. The issue I'm having with the cavalry is I know what units I want them to be, but trying to get hold of the flags for them is pretty difficult. I want one of the units to be Cromwell's, and then I can't remember the other 2 I want them to be, but I want to pick up another unit of cavalry from First Corps, but they were a bit expensive at the time when I was trying to put an order in, along with everything else. But obviously I've got Cromwell. He was in the Eastern Association, but unlike everybody seems to think, he didn't always start off as a general. He was just a commander of horse, and he was commander of horse in the Eastern Association, or at least a wing of them. And interestingly enough, he never got on with the Earl of Manchester or with General Crawford because of his attitude towards the ranks, and he would promote his men. So his officers wouldn't be gentry, they would be risen from the ranks, because he focused mainly on discipline, as opposed to the size of their purse. So I can use him either as commander of horse for Eastern Association, or again commander of horse for the New Model Army, because again he didn't lead the New Model Army. Fairfax led the New Model Army, but he commanded the horse. He was horse general, I think. And then I've just got a generic cavalry commander or mounted commander that I use for my other wing of cavalry. Annoyingly enough, he's drinking from a goblet, and it wasn't until I put them together and painted them up that I realised he's obviously got a lobster pot on, so it's going to be quite hard for him to bring that cup to his mouth without the centre bar getting in the way. Is what it is. And obviously these are the dragoons that I did for War Games Anonymous a couple of months ago. I am yet to do the dismounted figures for the dragoons, so at the moment they're just mounted infantry. So they can run, but they can't get off and fight yet, annoyingly enough. But yeah, so that's it, that's all I've got for now. Obviously I had to clear the board just to put these on because the rest of the army took up a lot of space. But that's it for what I've got at the moment. I've obviously got more on the way, more being unboxed later on in the week. So yeah, that's it for now, guys. Bye for now.